STRUST is the certification holders, certificates. All our SAP above system certificates are will be in the STRUST transaction code here. So we have the transaction code called the STRUST SSO2. STRUST or STRUST SSO2 is available. So here we can all the system related certificates here. All the system related certificates are available here. All the system related certificates in the above systems, it is available here. So means certificates means for SSL communication purpose. For SSL communication purpose here, we will use the this STRUST SSO2 transaction code. SSL communication means pure HTTP communication. Pure HTTP communication purpose where we will use the STRUST SSO2 transaction code here. So this transaction code can be used to perform the related to the certificates, single sign-on, SSO, ACL list. We will use it here. We will use it here. Three main things here, right? Using the STRUST SSO2. One is the certificates, system certificates, PSCs, then SSOs, then ACL list, ACL list, access control list, SSO, single sign-on mechanisms here, single sign-on mechanisms here. Certificates. Suppose if we want to import the some public certificates into the STRUST, we will use the certificates here. So pure SSO configuration purpose here. So nowadays, if you see, if you want to log into the any system, there is a pure HTTP communication here, pure HTTPS communication. If you log in with the HTTP, what will happen? The site is not secured, then it will be route to the HTTPS only, right? HTTP is not secure one. Why? Because so here there is a hackers, hackings, the many things will happen here. So untrusted one, you will get the untrusted one. But if you log into the SAP here, this is a trusted. Every site there is a certificate here. Every site, if you log in, there is a certificate here. This is a public certificate, which means this is there are we have the certificate authorities here, right? So certificate authorities means so like GoDaddy, DZCert, there are the number of providers are there. They will send the CA response certificate us, then we will import into the SAP side, then our SAP system also so protected by the HTTPS and all those things here. So certificates imports or export or signing request or all those things we will do it in the certificates here. SSO configuration here. SSOs means so some other systems should trust it. Why? Because the communication will pass. Suppose example here, this is the above system, this is the one more above system, or this is the Java system. Suppose the data exchange will happen from via network, data exchange happen one system to other system to here, data exchange happen internally. So but both are connected here. But here exchanging the data, which means so data is getting exchanged here. So which means both the systems should be trusted status here. Means this system should be trusted and this system also should be trusted. Then only the calls will go without asking the user ID and password. Both the system to system communication means human to system communication. We have the user ID and password. We will use it. But system to system communication, that's why so this system certificate we have to import to the STRUST SSO2. This system certificate we have to import to the here. Then both the side the communication will happen. Then certificates so that the calls will be trusted here. Then ACL access control list here. Then both we have to add to the access control list here. Suppose like portal system into the here and this system into the portal system. So we have to add it. All those things we have to add into the systems here, right? So that is the certificates. All those things we have to do it in the STRUST SSO2 transaction code here. right? STRUST SSO2 transaction code, we have to use it here. So when you go to the STRUST SSO2 transaction code here, if you see here, we go to the any one of the system here. So STRUST SSO2. So here we have the PSCs are there. PSCs are there here. See, lot of folders are there here. So system PSC. System PSC means system internal PSC here. System internal PSC. Internal PSC means every system there has some internal PSC. So that internal PSC related information is there. Here you can see the PSC, each certificate there is, this is the system certificate here. System internally during the installation time it will create system internal certificate. This will be used for the SSO communication, system to system communication SSO purpose. We will use the, so this system certificate we will use it here. This system certificate we will use it here first, SSO communication purpose. So that system certificate will be used, right? Communication purpose. So that SSO certificate will be used here, right? This is the SNC. SNC means some SNC secure network protocol related certificates. We can use it. Some organizations it may not be. It will use it here. SSL certificates. SSL certificates. What we have to do our duty. So every time we have to create the new system. We need to create the certificate request. We have to create it here. Certificate request. We have to create it here. Request. So there is a certificate request. We have to create it here, so that once you create the request here, means generation of the CSR request, generation of the CSR request here. So how the process work here? Suppose if the both the system side, this is the above system, this is the one system. So both the system side data exchange will happen, but both the systems should be HTTPS. Then that is the secure one, right? If it is HTTP, the people will get. So this is the HTTP. People will hack the our system calls and everything here in the browser level, web level, right? So that is the reason. If that is the HTTPS, certificate based communication, certificate based communication. So no one will hack that system connect systems data everything here. So that is the reason. So in that case, what we have to do? So we have to renewal the our system certificate, or we have to create the our system certificate here. For this one, what we have to do in the SSL server standard, so we have to create a CSR request. We have to create a CSR request in STRUST SSO2. Then export the CSR certificate here. Then send the certificate CSR certificate or code or certificate to respective signing authority. So which means we have the signing authorities are there here. So here the signing authorities are there, either GoDaddy, DZSat, there are the multiple sites are there. Third party, they can provide the signed certificate to us. Then once you send the CSR certificate to them, then they will send the signed response response certificate to us. Then, so signed means HTTP signed certificate response to us. Then we have to import for the trusted certificate. So we have to import. So we have to import the signed CA response certificate, CA response certificate certificate into, so our STRUST SSO2 transaction code, then SSL server standard PSE, we have to import it here. Then save it, save it, distribute it. That's it. So this is the steps we have to follow. So to get your your SSL server standard certificate into, to get your SSL server standard certificate into, so SSL server standard certificate into the server standard certificate into, so means your system should be HTTPS. Then what we have to do, we need to create the SSL server standard certificate. We have to create it. This should be certificate by the trusted authority. Now this is the self-signed certificate which we created. This is not the pure HTTPS communication here. So in this case, what we have to do, we need to create the CSR request here. The code you will get it out here, this code, right? Or you can download the, save as a local file also, you can download it. Or you can also copy this code, send this code to the your respective, send this code to the certificate signing authority. Then they will send you the signed response certificate to you. Then again, once you got it, all those things, then go to the STRUSTSSO certificate. Then here there is a export and there is a import option. There is the next tab, import option. Just click on the import the certificate response certificate. Then we can copy the code or just click on the import button. It will ask the where is your certificate. Just load the your certificate here. Once you load the certificate here, so self-signed certificate will gone. Then you will get the signed certificate response certificate. You will get it out here, which means that is valid 1 year or 2 years, whatever the month, whatever the 1 year. So in the 1 year period, all your system calls, inflow calls, outflow calls will be HTTPS, pure HTTPS. It will be trusted by, it will be trusted pure HTTPS calls. So nothing will happen to the your so systems here. So that's what we have to do it in the system certificate here. That is called the SSL server standard. This is the certificate we have to do that one. This is not required to renewal it here. This is the SSO communication purpose, system to system communication, system PSC. For HTTPS communication purpose, we have to use the SSL server standard PSC. We have to use it here. SSL standard PSC certificate, we have to use it here, right? So that is the SSL standard PSC here. The next one is called the, so SSL client anonymous certificate. So what is this anonymous certificate here? What is meant by anonymous certificate here? This is the client PSC. Client means client server architecture. Client will send the response, send the request, server will respond back, right? So this is like a, it will allows to other web services using the SSL protocol. If you have any other web services you are using in the system, then anonymous PSC. So the server only uses the, so anonymous PSC will be used here. So okay, they don't have any public key or any certificate signing request. All those things are required, not required here, right? So are not required here. Anonymous PSC here, right? Web services, web services here. So web services and all those things here, web services related, which means, so which means here server side authentication and data encryption only, no client authentication is required. So anonymous means client side authentication is not required, just only used for server side authentication and data encryption purpose. We will use the anonymous PSC, anonymous PSC. Okay, then standard PSC. Standard PSC is like a must exist, means the standard PSC means it, this is standard identification, identity to use the, so standard PSC, standard identification purpose, they will use it here, standard PSC here, right? So must exist for SSL to work, which means let me show you here. This is the third party site. This is the your SAP system. So, right. So this is the XYZ. This is the ABC. Right. So when this is coming to the call is coming here, HTTPS call, which is accessing the your data here, your system data, means which is entering into the your system here, which means so this system certificate means this is the client, this is the server. This system certificate should be exist in the here, right, in the standard PSC. Right? Why? Because then only standard here means so this authentication is required. This authentication is required, must exist in the your SAP system side here. SAP system side here must exist in the to pure HTTPS communication. This should be exist here, right? So that will be exist here, right? So then that is purpose they will use. Anonymous PSC means so some third party or some other things that they are trying to access here, only accessing, only grabbing some response time. So this certificate does not need to be exist here. This certificate does not need to be exist in our system. So that time so we can use the so anonymous related authentication certificate we will import it, but authentication is not required. Authentication is not required. But here that certificate should be the SSL communication, pure HTSL communication purpose. We will use these certificates. So, but mainly system SSL certificate, pure HTTPS communication calls within your server. This is the one. SSO communication purpose. This is the one. Then this is the client means client side certificates, client calls which is coming to. So that is one is required here. That is one it is required here, right? So that purpose only we will use the SSL client, then SSL standard. So those things we have the options here, SSL client, SSL standard. So we have the options here, right? So here the SSL certificate, security certificate, lowest validations purpose, cryptography, public keys, private keys. There are many things here, serial keys. Everything should match it here, right? So everything. The client certificate is called the digital certificate that the person or device uses to authenticate their identity to remote on the server. So when we are making a request from here to here, so the authentication, this device should be trusted, right? That is the reason we will use the client certificates. All those things we will use it here, client certificates. So all those things we will use it here, right? So that is the purpose we have the certificates. Their certificates we have to import it here. Third party certificates, or if it is the SAP to SAP, we will use the SSL server standard certificates. We will use it here. Here we will import the certificates. So third party, not SAP related. In the non-SAP related also, we have the two flavors here: anonymous PSC and SAP standard. So sometimes the authentication must be exist here, then standard PSC. So authentication is not required means that type of PSCs we can use the anonymous. So levels we will import it here. So here we have to import it. Then we have to add to the ACL list. The certificate will be here. Suppose example, I will try to add the third party some of the certificates related things here. How can we do it here? Go to the certificates. Suppose like we got the request to import the this system certificate. Okay. So go to the pure HTTPS communication. Then go to the here, import the certificate. Import option is there. Then you will get the certificate request here. Just click to add to the certificate list. Right, certificate is added here. Certificate, we will add the certificate. Then add to the ACL list. For the access control list means SSO purpose everything. We will add the request here. Once it is added, just click on the save button. That will be added here. So just click on the save button. That will be added here. See here, certificate is added. Then save it. Then distribute all. So that will be distributed to the PSC here. So this is the way we need to add. So now if any connection, if any calls are coming, So if any day calls are coming from this side, so our system will trust it. Why? Because so that system certificate we have imported here, HTTPS. So it will be trusted. Then only it will allow the connection inside of the server, and all those things will be done by the SSL server standard. It will be done by this one here. So that is the, so we have the SSL server standard PSCs are there here. So remaining all are the web services related, not much that much of important web services. So but main important thing is the system PSC and SSL server standard PSCs are important here. Okay, these two are the important. This is the system to system communication purpose. This is the pure HTTPS certificates. Here in this PSC we have the major work. There we have to create the yearly ones, we have to create the CSR request, then we have to send to the certificate CA authority, then they will send the response certificate here, then we have to import to the STRUST. How to import means, go to the here, click on the import button, import the CSR request, then we have to import it. This is what we have to do it. Okay, remaining all are the, so not that much of not important, but this is the some third party, some other system certificates portals, non-above related things we can import into the both the sites here. Okay, so this is about the small topic as trust.